Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In the session today, we are going to use those little scrap paper flowers that we punched out the other day, and we're going to just have a quick play with those. Not a long session today, really not a very long session. So let's dive right into it. I have some coordinated colors here from what we had the other day. I've got a card base and I've got the negatives of those punch outs with the flowers that we made. So what I was thinking is to make a quick card. I'll show you with the one. I'm going to trim this down quickly because it's not straight and it will really bother me if it's not. So we now need to just get those two lined up, and I'm going to just try and sort this out. So we need our craft knife and a ruler. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. What I want to do is not to take too much of this, but we just need to straighten it out, and I hope nothing slips, because if it does, we've got a problem. And I want to do both of them at the same time. I'll line this up so that we can get the other side sorted, more or less. It's about a centimeter from there, so let me just see. It's about there, so on the line. I'm not making sense, but I'm just trying to center this as much as I possibly can so that it is more appealing. This, however, is a tiny bit out wider on the one side than it is on the other. So even though it's lined up on the centimeter line, I will then just get the spacing done. Now I'm going to turn this the other way, still try and keep this sorted like there and there. Same thing. What can be useful is if I make a little pencil line for myself, more or less there and there. The same thing here on this side, I guess will be fine, though I think that one is wider than this. I'm going to cut it there, though. We can always trim a little bit more if need be. Ow, and that was my finger. Look there. See how easily that can happen? Now, we must just be careful that I don't have blood all over, because we don't want our project to be spoiled. You see how quickly an accident can happen, and I'm very clumsy. I normally do things like that. I will dab the blood just now. Sorry for those that can't stand the sight of blood. I think that looks more or less okay, though this side is a bitty. I think I need a side on this side, just a tiny little bit, about that much. I will stop in a minute just to go wash my hands so that I can rid of the blood there. See how easily that happens, and that's why I always say I have to close it, because I will be the person to cut myself, and I just proved that to you. That looks more or less okay. So I'm going to just get this out of the way and clean up the finger. You might ask, why don't I just simply put a plaster on it? Well, I cannot, because I am allergic to plasters. Yes, all kinds of band-aids. I just cannot. So let's start with this. The card is about 6 by 6, which is just over 14-15 centimeters. So we can trim it down if we really want to. Let's do that. And I will, yeah, just be careful now, because now I do make my own card bases. I do not buy that commercially. So sometimes they do tend to be a bit wider. So let's do 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. There we have that. Just move that out of the way before another little accident occurs. Now, I think I want to use the, let's see. I don't know which one will I use. Let's see, red or orange. This red actually looks quite a bit like a reddish, this red looks like a reddish orange. And this orange here is quite peachy compared to this. Now, do I want the orange? I think I'll go for the orange on the red. So we will leave that one. This I want to cut just a bit smaller, so it needs to be about 13 by 13 centimeters. So I'm going to just line it up. I wonder which side is the straightest. So let's start there. 13. So let's go down here. And yes, I'm going to snip it down there. Straight down. I don't mind the extra strips that can be punched down at some stage. Turn it over. Could have worked if I had this side is straighter than that, so I will count this way. And would you guess it? Yes, I missed where the line is. Actually, I didn't. I underestimated myself. Wait, and I slipped it. So rectify. And there we go. And I just want to close this craft knife. It is quite sharp. We're going to glue this down, and we set the orange one right. So I'll glue that down in a bitty. So let's make a lovely little card, a quick card. We're going to line this up. Just put glue everywhere. Try to put your glue right to the end so that it can stick down really smoothly. Don't put your project there because there's glue now. And a little card so that you can burnish it. How beautiful is that? I love the polka dots. Now we're going to glue this down. Again, try to add glue everywhere, right around the frame, around the flower, into that little bits. And we're going to also put this in the middle of this square card. Be careful now not to put glue everywhere. I just moved the paper a bit, so I'll just try and center it a bit better. Now let's decide which one of the flowers do we want. Probably want that one, or maybe this one. I'll stick with the orange one. But now, for this to really make impact, we're going to turn this over, and we are going to add some double-sided tape. Big square in the middle. And then I'm going to just trim this sort of in the middle. And yes, it jumped right away from me. We'll need another one. So we will take another piece and just trim that. Doesn't matter exactly where you put this. And this one, not going to trim it shorter. Just leave it as is. Now here, just to pull off the backing, and then we are going to place it onto our card, and that will be our little card for any happy occasion. Could be a birthday card, could be a thank you card. And just line it up with your little negative, and then that red will shine through. It is a bit skew, Would you believe it? But it's not too bad. We can maybe push it that way. That looks a little bit better. And there we have a card with a bit of dimension. You can see that red shining through underneath, and it would have been something that would have been thrown away. And now we have a wonderful card that we can now use for multiple occasions. Thanks for joining me. Please go try and make a card for yourself. Find some useful project for your little scraps so that you can work off those scrap pieces. As you can see, I normally keep my little strips and things so that I have it for next time. If you don't have a project for your scraps, rather let it go. Throw it away and get rid of it. Otherwise, it might just overwhelm you in the long run if you sit with all these pieces and you don't know how you could use it and what you can use it for. If you want to see more helpful content like this, give me a thumbs up. I'll appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel too, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload new content. See you back soon. Goodbye.